Hi, welcome everybody to our webinar. I'll be getting started in just a minute here. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to our Q3, Q4 product webinar. Really excited for today's meeting. We have a lot of fun and exciting things to share with you today. I'm Ryan. I'm the head of product at Sift, and I'm really excited today to walk you through what we've been working on in Q3 and Q4. And at the end, we're also going to ask you all some questions about our future roadmap. We have some big ideas that we're currently thinking about for 2025 and beyond that we'd love some of your input on. As always, please use the chat or Q&A section to ask any questions that you might have. We have a few people from our team here moderating in the background, and they'll make sure that I see those questions and get them answered. We will have a section at the end specifically for Q&A, but I never mind people asking things right in the middle of the call either. We will have some poll questions. Today they'll be mostly at the end of the call, sort of centered on that future state stuff, but we will have those at the end of the call, so pay attention for those. And we will be giving you a recording of this meeting in the next 36 hours in case you'd like to watch it again or pass it along to anybody else at your company. Yeah, so again, today we're going to go through what we've been up to in Q3 and Q4, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the future and how to get involved. So this is one thing that we released in the middle of last quarter. We did go over this in the last webinar as well, but it was technically released last quarter. So you can now, inside of Microsoft Copilot, perform natural language Sift searches. So this is really our first foray into the AI space. So you can use Copilot to ask questions about employees at your company, and you'll be able to get search results using those things. So for example, down here, we have a query of Sift, find someone in the technology department who can help me with JavaScript, and then it'll give you some results back from the Copilot chatbot, and you can hover over these little number annotations here to see a card. This is available within the Microsoft Teams Copilot chat and is also available anywhere else that you would get Copilot. There are some updates coming to this a little bit soon on Microsoft's end to make this a little bit more convenient. Right now, the way you have to enable this is after you've installed our app within Microsoft Teams. And if you haven't done yet, I definitely suggest it. You can go into Copilot and enable Sift as an extension, but Microsoft is soon releasing an update where it'll have a little bit of a more dedicated area. So it's a little bit easier to use for users. And then the other thing that we did along with this release is you can now utilize our app within Outlook as well as Teams. So in the past, you could only use it within Teams, but now you can use it within Outlook and the Microsoft 365 website and a lot of other places as well. Yep, and then we spent a lot of time working on our new homepage. This actually was released this morning, not last night, technically. So if you've gone to Sift today, you may have seen a new homepage in front of you, and I'll be giving a demo of this functionality today. But basically, the idea here is we wanted to give your users something dynamic and new that they could see every single day and allow you to provide more relevant content on your homepage for your users as well. So today, what you can add to your homepage, and this is only the beginning, we just wanted to get this out there initially, is you can add this My Team widget, which is very similar to what you see today on the Sift homepage or what you saw yesterday and before on the Sift homepage, where it'll give you a list of your teammates. And you can also expand this list to give you a more grouped breakdown of those teammates. But we also let you create a rich text widget. So this can be used for anything like external links to other websites. We know some of you have asked for that in the past. It can be used for weekly, monthly announcements. If you want to come and update that, you can put company goals, like company values, things of that nature. So it kind of lets you customize that content on the homepage, making it a little more than just a search. And I'll go into this a little bit in the future as well, but down the road, we're really looking to provide content here that'll really give people reasons to come back daily, weekly, such as recommended mentors and sort of today's birthdays, today's anniversaries, new hires, like people, new open roles within the company. So just giving them more actionable items that they can look at rather than needing to know who they're looking for. To enable Sift and Copilot, do we do that from Sift or Copilot? Also in the search, do you have to preface the search with Sift? You do it from Copilot. So within Microsoft Teams, if you install the Sift app within Copilot, you'll see an extension and you can pick Sift. And you do currently have to type the word Sift inside of the search, but with those updates that Microsoft is making coming soon that I sort of alluded to, you will not after that. So it'll make it a lot more natural. Great. And then just some additional odds and ends as well. So we're always updating sort of our free trial for new customers. We've made some additional updates to our data import process in the admin dashboard to fix some bugs and make things smoother. And we're always doing sort of infrastructure improvements. So we worked on some things to improve like sort of our rate limiting and our firewall and things such as that as well. Yeah, in Q4, the couple of things that we're working on are continuing to work on the homepage. So just working on additional types of widgets. So here's a couple of examples here. So one would be a featured team member. So either at random or somebody you explicitly choose, we can kind of feature a person at your organization for a certain period of time to sort of get people to notice maybe a certain individual. So say that you hired like a new CEO or somebody that you want to sort of feature on your homepage, you'll be able to do that. And then an external links widget that's a little bit more curated for that use case. You can currently do that for rich text, but this would just sort of be a more specific example of that. So where you could have like descriptions inside of tooltips and make it a little bit more specific to that use case. And then some other examples up here are sort of featured pages and open roles. So if you're utilizing Sift pages, you can feature things like projects or departments or anything like that, or open roles as well. And today, actually, if you go into Sift, if you're currently a customer, you should have gotten a notification up in the top right under that notification bell, which I know we don't use very often, but it'll link you to an article that sort of describes all of this new functionality and gives you some more ideas of what we're thinking about working on in the future. And as always, feel free to reach out with any suggestions that you might have for this. This is really only the beginning, and we'd love to hear all of your feedback. The other thing that we're working on in Q4, this will probably be released early Q1, if I had to guess. This is another thing that's been sort of requested a lot, is the ability to filter on the org chart experience. So in the directory today, you can kind of say, hey, like I want to filter my directory for all people with a certain job title or a certain department. And up until now, you haven't really been able to do that in the org chart. You can use that start from here functionality to start at a specific node and isolate a department as long as your structure fits with that. But you've never been able to really use a filter panel. So we're working on that as a piece of functionality. So when this comes out, you'll be able to, on your org chart, like filter out like people that you don't want to see in your current view. So if you want to filter out like part-time employees, contractors, or remote people, or really isolate a specific department, you'll be able to do so. And the other thing that we're also working on along with that, which is not really related, but another just nice org chart update, is the ability to remove pictures and names from the org chart cards. So we've heard from people in the past that they want to export their org chart from Sift to an external third party, for example. So they don't want people's names on the cards. They really just want to show the data structure of the job roles. So we'll be able to remove names and pictures from those cards to anonymize them as well. And here you'll see like a little screenshot of this filter view. So we're still working on some things around if you would kind of do a filter that would break the structure, how do we deal with that? So say that like this person up here is from Detroit and this person here in the middle is from like Oklahoma and the people underneath are all from Detroit as well, and you filter out Oklahoma. Like we don't necessarily want to break this chain here. So we're kind of thinking about, hey, how can we offer this filtering experience without like completely making your org chart all over the place? But yeah, this is one feature that's coming down the road that we're really excited about. And with that, I will give a quick demo of the new homepage. So here you see it in front of you. So this is on our demo website, and this is all functionality that you can use today if you go into Sift. So here you'll see a few different widgets. So first of all, we see this My Team section, which was familiar from the previous experience. So you'll be able to look at all of the people who are sort of around you in the org chart view. And if I expand upon this, it'll give me a grouped view. So I'll see who is my leader or manager, who is on my direct team, so like who has the same manager as me, and then who are my direct reports if I'm a leader. Additionally, if you've turned on dotted line relationships in Sift, those will also appear here where they didn't used to in the previous experience. You also have a quick link to view these people in the directory. So if for whatever reason you have like a ton of people on your team and you would want to like look at them in this view or like filter them down further, you can have a shortcut there to view them in that directory. And then here you have a link to your org chart. So kind of very similar to the previous view, but this is an example of how the widget system kind of, we look at it working is each sort of widget here will have this minimized default view that's like a small box on your home screen. And you can currently have up to 6 of these at once. So this will stack in lines of 3 and 3. And each of them will have this kind of expand button to view like a larger version of the thing that may have additional content. So in this My Team, you'll see these group sections. And then over here, we have this rich text content. So here you have an example of important links. So if you want to link out to other areas of your company's sort of like ecosystem, such as with benefits information or requesting time off, or if you already have an intranet for all that, maybe you just want to link to guides on how to use Sift or how to give feedback on your search tool and all of that, you can do that. And then this is another example of a rich text widget with another cool piece of functionality where you can actually have different content in this kind of preview, small view in the big view. So here we have this smaller like mission statement and it says click view more below to read our values. And then in here, it's sort of more broken out with headings and subheadings with larger content. So you can choose to have different content in the small view versus the big view. So if you do want to have sort of a prompt for like a longer piece of content, you can do so. And then in this view, like this will scroll. So you can have technically like a very like large amount of content if you would want to put something in there in that regard. And then just going a little bit over into the setup. Actually, before I do that, just real quick, this search is exactly the same as it's always been. So like clicking in here will give you a very similar experience to what you used to have. And then the recent searches we just chose to put here in the search bar instead of making it a widget itself because we kind of view it as tied to search itself more. But this experience is exactly the same as it's always been because we just didn't want to have too jarring of an experience there. And then here over on the admin dashboard, you'll see this new homepage area where you can look at a list of kind of all of your widgets that are available and then sort of put them into the layout. And like that's what sort of impacts the homepage. So if I were to like reorder this and save, then I would go back to the homepage and important links would be first instead of My Team. And we can continue to add sort of up to 6 different things. It'll give you a little preview here of where we'll go on which position. Then here we'll give you, so we've given you some examples just sort of as a pre-population. So there's this sort of company OKR section that we had an example of that we could go into. And here you'll see that you can define these different properties of this. So you can say, hey, what's in the default view of the widget? What's in that expanded view of the widget if you want it to be different? And then this name and the description would show up on the top. You can also create new ones, and here you would kind of choose from a list of widget types. So that rich text and My Team are, again, the only 2 that we currently have. But then you can sort of just select one of these types and start from scratch. So in the My Team widget type, there's a couple of options as well. So you can choose to turn off like viewing people at the same level if you're a manager yourself. So we've sort of heard in the past, some people say that I'm like this person up here. Like some people say, oh, like only these 2 people are really on Royal's team. These people next to him are not. So you can kind of choose to make it so only this is considered his team rather than this plus all of the people on this level. And then you can turn like the dotted line relationship display on or off as well. But yeah, that's it. So going forward in the future, we'll kind of continue to expand upon the system and add new widget types to this homepage layout, but you can today go in and play around with different options with these rich text things. One other thing to note is you can preview these layouts before you save them. So like, for example, I can add this here and click this preview button, and then this will not show up to all of my end users before I release it. So like if you want to just create these widgets, like try it out, see how it would look, you can do so without sort of releasing that to everybody at your company. But yeah, that's it for that. I would love to hear any questions either now or at the end. But yeah, we're really excited for people to start using this. And this was one we really want feedback on because there's a lot of different ways we could go with providing content here. So, okay. Yeah. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about today, as I kind of mentioned, is what we're thinking about going forward in the future. We've been going to some conferences lately and doing a bunch of research, and we've really found out that skills-based organizations are kind of a new big HR topic that is sort of popping up in the industry today. So we've been really thinking about expanding Sift's functionality when it comes to skills. I know that's one way that a lot of you and a lot of others use Sift today, but we really are looking to lean into that. And what we've kind of found is that today there's a lot of products that really focus on like the skills taxonomy. So like what skills should your company have, helping an individual on their skills journey. So connecting that individual with courses to sort of upskill, and providing sort of high level analytics to leadership. So things like skills gaps at my company, and things of that nature. But we do think that like Sift can play a very good role here because we kind of live in the flow of work, of an employee on a day-to-day basis. Hopefully, like if they are really using us as a people directory and a place to always find people and use, often like we are in a unique position to sort of provide value to everyone at the company every day, rather than just giving them sort of a once a year like skills survey where they complete and update their skills. So we really think that we can fit by keeping data more current for an employee. So what if we had, and this is, I'll go into this more on the next slide, I guess, but keeping the data current for skills, living more in the flow of work, as I said, and providing sort of transparency and opportunities to everyone. So maybe letting people connect with mentors for upskilling and things of that nature on a more day-to-day basis. Yeah, so the type of things we've been thinking about, sort of, like I was saying on the last slide, AI is another big topic we've been looking into, as I'm sure a lot of you have been. So one thing we thought of for data collection is what if we could have like a conversational AI agent that would routinely ask an employee questions through Slack, Teams, like a mobile app to keep their data current. So rather than having a skills survey that you send out once a year, what if Sift could ask people just very low touch questions that aren't even, they wouldn't be as robotic as your skills need to be updated. What are your new skills? What if we just ask them, hey, what are you working on today? And then we would sort of use our business logic AI to sort of determine, oh, like which skills should I add to your profile based off of that information. So over here, we kind of have an example of like, what have you been working on this month? I've been working on a new project to update our homepage to increase its SEO. And then sounds exciting. Should I add these things to your profile? And really just giving companies a better way of collecting this data, because even we see here at Sift is that people will fill out that profile page one time and then it'll sort of get stale, and never be updated again. So we're really trying to find new ways of getting people to keep their profile current without making it a chore. And we think we can provide value there, to a company. Yeah, and then the second thing, like for AI, is just suggesting and pre-filling profile content. So as you know, this is where AI has been probably used the most so far, is just generating content. So we have like a bio field on our profile, like a professional summary. So we could use people's job title, skills, etc., to just generate that content for them or suggest content for them. Upgrading Sift Search to use natural language queries better, to better understand related skills and job roles. So today, as you may have noticed, Sift Search is a little bit, I guess, stupid for a lack of a better word. I don't like saying that, but it works very well in some ways, but it's a very keyword-based search. So today, if I search the word like programming, only people who like literally have the word programming on their profile would show up in the search results. But like, hopefully we could make it so if you search programming, people who have like any programming language would show up, or people with related skills to them would show up. So just making things a lot smarter in that regard and just giving it a more natural language tone. And then the last thing is better integrating into HR systems to allow Sift to reflect and update the source of truth for skills data. So as more companies sort of adopt skills-based work and things like that, we're looking to really integrate into that source of truth for skills and reflect that on Sift, and maybe even write back to that source of truth within that HR system, so you don't really have this disconnect between the two different systems. But yeah, those are just some things we're thinking about in the skills area. So this is just something that we're really looking to investigate going forward. And now we're going to ask you some poll questions, sort of related to these things. I'd love if you could answer these if they apply to you. So number one is, where does your company stand on implementing AI into your workflow and process? At a couple conferences we went to, we're hearing ridiculous numbers like 90+% of companies are adopting AI into their strategies. And I've been wondering if it's just biased based on which conferences we're going to, or if this is actually true. Oh, and it looks like you can actually cycle through all these poll questions at once. I've never seen it do this before. See a few people typing. I guess I'll go on to all the rest of the question. I'm not sure if I think it's making you answer all of them at the same time. So I'll go on and ask the rest of my questions and then wait for the submission at the end. In higher ed, as far as the workplace process is so far very slow to adopt into workflow for daily activities. Got it. All right, so I'll just go through all of these real quick, and if you could just answer all of them, I'd appreciate that. Number two is, would AI-driven features like skills recommendations, profile completion, or people matching improve your experience with Sift? So, like, would AI be something you think bringing into Sift would be beneficial? Is the second question. Question number three is, on a scale of 1 to 5, how important are skills in your 2025 HR roadmap? Maybe you don't know this. And if you're an IT person, just think of it as your IT roadmap. But we're really looking to understand, hey, like, are skills a thing that is being talked about heavily in your industry? And then number four, which of these skills features would be beneficial to you? So we listed a few options here, and feel free to select any of them that you would like. So the first one is collecting and maintaining skills for current employees. So the data collection angle. So really providing a place for skills to always stay up to date. Matching employees to projects and roles based on skills. Analyzing skills data to understand business gaps. So at a super high level, like, what skills do I need in this division? Like, am I short on this skill or heavy in this skill? And then using skills to match mentors and mentees. So at the individual level, say that I am a like software engineer one and I want to get promoted to a senior software engineer and I want to upskill, like using Sift to find a mentor to sort of get you to that next level. Sorry for the weird poll format. We've never put them all back to back before, so we must have messed that up. All right, I will while you're all answering that, I'll wrap up with all these other slides here and then open it for Q&A just at the same time as that's going on. But yeah, please finish that if you can. Um, Great. So getting involved, obviously, as we always say, we have a feature request board at feedback.justif.com. So if you ever have any ideas about anything that we talked about today or otherwise, you can feel free to go here. You can also email product@justif.com, which will actually probably get you a little bit more of an immediate response, as we only kind of review this periodically. And then we're on LinkedIn. So if you can give us a follow and some engagement on our posts, we'd really appreciate it. And then leaving us a review on G2. So if you haven't yet and you love Sift or you don't, please go and leave us a review on G2 so we can sort of improve in any way that we can and get your feedback. Great. And now I will stop for any questions that you might have or feedback. All right, we'll give it a couple minutes and then we'll wrap up if there's nothing. Yeah, that makes sense, Peyton. That's good feedback. Yeah, I was thinking about that as well. Yeah, because who are you looking for might imply that you need to type a name of somebody or something. It's good feedback. We will probably do that, to be honest. I agree with you, and we can do it pretty quickly as well. So yeah. This is all I had, by the way, everybody. If you don't have any more questions, feel free to jump off. Thank you so much for joining today. And if you have any feedback, please feel free to let us know. Just waiting for. Yeah, sorry our poll wasn't working, everyone. Gotcha, Brian. So yeah, having sort of quick. Brian, you mean like sort of having quick links to specific like staff departments and buildings so you can kind of like find those specific things quicker? Oh, sorry, everyone. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, you're okay. Just so moving some of those into that main area potentially, and then allowing for more options. That makes sense. All right. Anything else? Great. Well, thanks so much again for joining today, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.